Hi, this is Ellie with Full Moonlight Tarot 20, and this is your Twin Flame check-in. And I am shuffling cards, and I will be pulling 2 cards for the Divine Masculine, 2 cards for the Divine Feminine to see where they're at on their spiritual journey at this time. Now, take it as it resonates. We all have a balance of feminine and masculine energies, and what comes out in the reading for the masculine, if you're the divine feminine, could also speak to the masculines, the divine masculine, that balanced half of you. So it doesn't have to be an external person, it could be internal for you. But I feel like with the new moon we just had, those were some powerful energies, and now we're in eclipse season. We have a couple of eclipses coming up now in September, and the energy is already amping up. It's going to be very transformative, for both twin flames, for the twin flame collective. There's going to be tower moments happening for everybody. Tower moments in tarot mean that false structures basically in your life, anything fake, if you're living a life of inauthenticity, it's going to come crumbling down around you. Okay, 1 card for the divine masculine, card 2, divine feminine. Why do we keep getting that illusion card? And let me grab my romance angels, because I'd like to get a card for each of them. Now, what it looks like with the divine masculine there, I've got 1111, and of course that's a twin flame number. And usually when we tend to see this more often, it is signs. It can be a sign from your counterpart. It can be a sign from spirit that things are happening behind the scenes that you may not know about, that might get you closer to union, or it's helping you with your ascension. And I think the divine masculine is starting to notice synchronicities, signs, remarkable. Notice everything remarkable about your relationships. Yes, I think they're looking around at the people in their life, but I also think they're looking at the divine feminine, and maybe they're noticing the dichotomy between some of the karmic people in their lives and how the divine feminine is shining, quite frankly, because she's really risen to her divine feminine status. I really like that, I feel like they're really reflecting on the times they've had with the divine feminine, and how the life around them, their 3D life, is really not reflecting what they always wanted. It's not even close to what they've wanted for themselves. And maybe that's going to spur them into action. And I would like to think that, that's a very good starting point. Now, the divine feminine, you need to have trust in the relationship in order for it to flourish. And then illusion. Avoid the trap of mistaking a fantasy for a true soul connection. Yeah, I think it's really hard to have trust in your divine masculine when you see what's happening in their 3D life. And you see how they have karmics all around them, whether that's family, that's friends, that's a significant other. They might have the karmic connections, how they're living an inauthentic life. It's their whole life is based on illusions, right? They try to present to the world this happy front, this mask of, oh, my life is so great, when you know deep down, because you have an energetic connection to them and you can feel their emotions a lot of the time, especially when they're going through the heavy emotions. You can feel that their life is so not great, that they're upset half the time, that they're fighting, there's fighting all the time, that they really are not happy as like the happy front they present to everybody. But the thing with a divine connection is you have to stop looking at the 3D, and you have to think of the 5D, and how the 5D, your divine masculine's higher self, is always connected to you. This is an ancient connection. That love has been there for centuries, as long as time. And this is this life, this 3D life, is nothing but an illusion. It's nothing but an illusion, and it just serves for us to drop the negative energies and ascend, right? Raise our energy. That's what this is all about. Raise the energy of the planet. So stop looking at the 3D, divine feminine. Stop looking at the lies. Stop looking at the pretension. Stop looking at the masks. Behind that is the divine masculine soul, right? And he is working with you in the 5D all the time. You can feel his love. He is helping you, and you are helping him. And you started your journey first. And look at all the things you've had to endure in your life. And now it is his turn. He started after you. He needs to catch up with you. He needs to catch up with you. And you need to have faith that through his experiences that he's having in his life at this time, he's eventually going to he's eventually going to get so fed up with the shit that's going on in his life that he's going to walk away. And maybe he must be having a spiritual awakening already, even though he might be suppressing it because he doesn't understand it. But if he's seeing signs and synchronicities, there has to be some sort of spiritual awakening that's already begun. So, plus, they do sense the energetic connection. They sense it. They just don't understand it, and they try to shut it out because quite frankly, it scares them. So, which is a big reason they pushed you away, likely, right? They're the runner. So, well, most of them anyways. There are some very enlightened divine masculines out there, I have to say, but they're far and few between. Most of us here are divine feminines. Now, with the illusion card, trap of mistaken a fantasy for a true soul connection. I wonder if you're looking at some of the people in your life, or maybe you've met some people who are really not as divine as you think they are. Maybe you're listening to the wrong people when it comes to the twin flame journey. How we're looking for people who are also on the twin flame journey for some guidance, to know that we're not alone in this, because it is a very isolating experience. And we have soul connections with so many different people. Soul connections aren't just love connections. They're family, they're friends, they're people we meet at work, there are people we meet out in the community, there are people we meet everywhere. This is when you meet someone and it's like a spark of recognition, and you immediately feel very comfortable in their presence, and you want to spend more time with them because they make you feel seen. They make you feel like you matter. They make you feel loved. They make you feel special. And maybe you are meeting people who are putting up a front, or they're trying to lead you down the primrose path, so to speak. Maybe these people, some of the people around you may not be who you think they are. So please use your intuition. If you feel any red flags, if you feel anything that doesn't seem kosher. Step away from those people, because unfortunately, when you're a divine feminine, our energy is so, like, we've raised our vibration so high that other people who are not able to, well, they're able to, but they don't want to, because it takes so much work to burn through the negative energy, the karma, the traumas, the past, right? Ancestral stuff that we're here to transmute. And we've done so much work, and we've had um, those nights of crying ourselves to sleep. You know, what are they called again? The shadow, right? Oh, I can't even think of it now, but the dark night of the soul. There we go, dark nights of the soul. And we've had several of them on our journey. Some of us have been on this journey for many years, and we've done so much work on ourselves. And here are people who are not willing or not ready yet. They're not ready yet to do that work. But man, here is someone who is just loaded with all this energy, and they're not ready and willing to create their own energy. So they like to siphon it off of you, and they stick their energetic hooks into you, and they drain you of your energy. And when that happens, it also drains you of, it basically creates blocks to the abundance that is meant to come into your life. Anything good that is being attracted by your negative energy, when you have all these energy vampires sucking that energy off of you, from you, and you're not protecting yourself, you are losing your abundance. So please, please protect yourself. Be very discerning with the people you let around you. Be very discerning with who you tell your story to. I don't think that illusion card has anything to do with your divine masculine. You know if you're on the twin flame journey or not, and if your person is your divine masculine or not, because you feel that energetic connection. Literally, your chakra systems are connected by energetic cords that cannot be severed. No matter what people tell you, these cords cannot be severed, because this connection is ancient. Ancient. You've done this before many times. You're always connected, even if you don't speak in the 3D, even if you're never going to see them again. You're always energetically connected. You can feel them, and they can feel you. And a lot of us can have a telepathic connection. Most of us have a telepathic connection. You may not be aware of it. Maybe you're not open to it yet. But they might send you signs and synchronicities. You are sending them signs and synchronicities. You'll wake up in the morning and there's a song playing in your head that you haven't heard in 20 years, that song, and you'd forgotten about it. And there's one line of the song that keeps repeating over and over and over again. That is a message from our divine masculine. And that is how some of them communicate. Sometimes, you wake up in the morning and you see a flash of their life, of what they're seeing at this time. Maybe the same thing is happening to them, where sometimes they see things through your eyes and what's going on in your life. So yeah, this is very interesting. So I'm going to shuffle the angel cards, and I'm going to pick one card for the divine masculine and one for the divine feminine. Divine masculine, new love. And divine feminine, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Now the new love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. I don't think the divine masculine has fallen in love with anyone else. Don't panic. This card can also mean that they're getting reinterested in you. Not that they're getting reinterested. They never lost interest. They're always keeping tabs on you. But maybe this now means there's a new chapter opening up between the two of you. And I really do feel with this eclipse season, there's going to be sudden meetings, sudden messages. I just watched another reading by a reader I really like, and he said the energies are ramping up, and the divine masculines feel very pushed into action because they feel like they might lose you. So I feel like that this is what's happening. They feel so rushed. They feel like they need to step in. They feel like they could lose you to someone else. Maybe that's what that new love means. They're worried that you may have found somebody else that maybe you have. Maybe you are meeting soulmates who resonate with your soul frequency. You know, people who could meet you at your level where your divine masculine may not be able to yet. And with express your love, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Maybe this is talking about someone else that's come into your life that you feel really resonates with your energy. However, if it is your divine masculine that suddenly comes up on the scene and you feel like maybe they might be ready, then at least have a talk with them and be open and honest. I think a lot of connections, a lot of divine masculine and divine feminines never even had a discussion about what's happened before the separation or after the separation. Like when you first meet them, you're in this love bubble. And there's so much love there. There's soul recognition. You kind of, you're almost children. You can be, it's almost like you're little children together. You're very playful. And you feel like you could tell this person anything and they feel the same and you feel seen. And then the separation happens because now all of a sudden all your wounds come up and they trigger you and you trigger them, because now they look at you and they see all the work they have to do on themselves in order to be worthy of you, and vice versa. And so then you go into soul shock because you finally met that part of you that was missing and now it's gone again. Excuse me. So, and you've never had you've likely never had any conversations with your divine masculine, because here you're going through this spiritual awakening that they at this point wouldn't understand. And their spiritual awakening is probably happening a little after that. And they go back to their 3D life and of their 3D life where they're pretending to be so damn happy when really they're not. And they try to forget because they're scared of growing. They're scared of working on themselves. They're scared of pulling that shadow out of them and examining the shadow sides of themselves and healing themselves. They're scared of it. So maybe a talk needs to be had. If your divine masculine is coming to you and wants to respark things, a serious talk needs to be had, and each side needs to be open and honest. And if they're holding back and they're not, and you can sense that they're not being completely honest, you can sense that they're holding things back, and you can sense that maybe their emotional maturity is not at par, at the way it should be, that you expect of someone who would be with you, then there's some tough decisions you need to make. Am I ready? Is this person ready to be with me? Am I willing to have this person in my life in some capacity? But definitely express yourself. Express, you love them. I know you love them, and they love you. That doesn't mean that you're both ready to be together. So be very discerning. Love yourself first and foremost. Stand up for yourself. Don't hold back. That doesn't mean be unkind or be, a bitch, basically. They have to go through their journey just like you have to go through yours. So try to have some empathy, but don't let them walk all over you either. So that's what I have for you today. This is actually a pretty good reading, I want to say. And let's see how this unfolds over the coming months. And yeah, we'll probably do another one of these next weekend. So love and light, my collective. If you've made it to the end of this reading, love and light. I will talk with you soon.